expectation status, it's in the same category as of right now. But what do you find 13, 17 games into Marcus Freeman's tenure to be different about Notre Dame football?
I think the biggest thing is that he tends to attack weaknesses at a much greater level in terms of he does it quicker. He identifies the needs quicker and fixes them, or at least tries to fix them and identifies those weaknesses. For example, the quarterback situation. I think there were a lot of times in the Brian Kelly era where they probably could have gone out and got a transfer QB, or they could have gone out and said, hey, we're not going to just roll out this QB because he's been here. We're going to go and get a guy. Now, I know the transfer portal era is way different than it was 5 years ago, so that's another thing that needs to kind of be said, right? But the biggest thing for Freeman is I think he also leads the recruiting aspect of things. I'm never worried that Notre Dame's going to recruit at least a fairly high level under Freeman, because he wants to be the lead recruiter for every single guy. And I think Kelly, with Kelly, you got him in a room with a kid and he wanted you. His sales pitch was great. I'll fully admit that. When Kelly wanted to recruit a kid and was in their living room, or they were on an official visit and he was in a meeting with them, I thought he was great with kids. But I don't think he necessarily put in the effort that a Freeman does. And that's not necessarily an indictment on Kelly. I think he's a great college football coach. But I think there are people that love recruiting, and I think that there are people that are kind of just, they recruit because they understand that that's part of the job. And you can tell that Freeman loves it. So that's probably the biggest one. But getting back to just the weaknesses aspect, just if you look at what Notre Dame did in the portal this year, everybody said their safeties were a weakness. They went out and got 2 of them in the portal. Everybody said quarterback was a weakness. They went out and got, obviously, Sam Hartman, who was probably the best, the best QB in the transfer portal, right? Everybody said that their wide receivers were suspect. The guy didn't end up working out for Notre Dame. He actually ended up retiring. I think he had an injury in the spring and retired. But they went out and got a Virginia Tech transfer at wide receiver. So it was the attempt, right, that was there. The way he attacks the coaching staffs, Dylan McCullough, who might be the best running back coach in the country right now, outside of potentially the Ohio State running back coach, right? And is it Tony Alford still? I forget.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously Alford was at Notre Dame, was a terrific guy at Notre Dame as well. And he's been at Ohio State for a long time. And I know Ohio State fans usually love him, at least from a recruiting aspect. Dylan McCullough, the second he leaves Notre Dame, their recruiting is probably going to go downhill at running back because he's just that good at it, right? So I think those are the biggest things, is he attacks weaknesses with a sense of urgency, and he identifies coaches around him that have the same philosophy and want to get to the same area that he wants to get to. And I'm not saying national championship, because obviously every coach in the country will tell you they want to win a national championship, but they all think the same and they're on the same page. And I couldn't always say that about Brian Kelly's staffs.